Listen, not to overlook this fight. Not to overlook this fight, but Crawford activated his mandatory to fight you next, according to the WBO.
Yeah.
How excited are you for that? And what's your message to Crawford if he's listening?
Yeah, that's great, man. You know, like that's an opportunity to become a great for sure. You know, this is the first opportunity to do things that no one else does, to save the show, to still start this historic card, and if once the opportunity arises for Crawford, then that's going to be a war.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, it's pretty crazy because I was planning on making a video where I was going to give Tszyu his props because he was willing to fight anyone. It seemed to me like Tszyu was one of the rare fighters in the sport of boxing that's willing to fight the best. He wanted all the smoke. This is what I was thinking. So when the news came out that Terrence Crawford was negotiating with Tszyu, he's already talked to the WBO, he's enforcing his mandatory status, moving up. I never even thought about Tszyu not being interested in taking the fight. But surprisingly, it turns out that just may be the case. Because Tszyu's manager just came out, and he just said that they would consider vacating the WBO belt to avoid fighting Terrence Crawford to fight Errol Spence instead. Now, he says they would be willing to fight Crawford next, but being able to go in with Spence first is just from a manager's standpoint. Now, the fact that Tszyu's manager, he was willing to say this publicly, Tszyu himself hasn't come out and corrected what he said, it means that he's on board with what his manager said. And this is really shocking news, because obviously fighting Errol Spence would make no sense when Terrence Crawford just beat Errol Spence, and Terrence Crawford is considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world, and you have an opportunity to fight him next. This just goes to show you the level of respect that these fighters have for Terrence Crawford. You might hear all these fans making excuses for why Errol Spence lost to Terrence Crawford, but deep down, they all know that Terrence Crawford is a hell of a problem. And seeing what Crawford did to Errol Spence, it's got a lot of fighters shook. A lot of the fighters that watched that fight between Spence and Crawford, they were saying to themselves after that fight, thank God Crawford ain't in my division. I mean, you notice when it comes to Tszyu, he promised he was going to knock out Keith Thurman. Guaranteed it's going to end in a knockout. But when he was asked about fighting against Terrence Crawford, all he said is it's going to be a war. You know, Tszyu is a really good fighter, and I was really impressed with his performance over Tony Harrison. But after hearing what his manager said, I don't believe they have the confidence that I thought they had. Now, there's still a very good chance that that fight can go down, assuming that Tszyu beats Sebastian Fundora. But I can tell you right now, there's going to be a really bad look if Tszyu does vacate his belt to avoid Terrence Crawford and fights anyone else other than Terrence Crawford, especially fighting against Errol Spence. Let's see how it goes down. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.